Sitting at your car at a red light can be very entertaining. Honk if you love chocolate. If you can read this, I'm not impressed. Most people can read. I had a life once, my jaw ate it. My dentist said I needed a crown, and I was like, I know, right? A man's house is his castle. Let him clean it. It also can be very informative. My child's an honor student. I back the blue. My boss is a Jewish carpenter. Don't shop. Adopt. Humankind. Be both. It's funny how some people can put their passions, attitudes, and beliefs on the bumper of their car. It's a bold way of saying, this is what I believe in, or this is what inspires me. And if I had an inspirational bumper sticker on my car, it would say, Mom. Just Mom. My mom is my inspiration, and she's the total package. She went to nursing school right after high school, became an RN at the age of 20, became a Marine wife at the age of 21, raising babies at 30, living with a warfighter in her 40s, killing it at CrossFit in her 50s, and beating breast cancer at the age of 55. My mom has seen and done things most people won't ever see or do, and she's really something. I guess you could say my mom has lived a life full of service, full of high intense responsibility, compromises, and sacrifices, and she has inspired me to be the person I am today. My mom's passions were being in a military family, being a nurse, and being a mom. Pursuing her passions helped her become the person she is, someone to be admired, and someone I want to be like. My mom was a Marine Corps wife for 29 years. My dad started out as an enlisted guy who later became an officer. They started out without kids, but retired as parents. They came into the Marine Corps during a time of peace, but left at a time of war. So my mom saw many sides of the military life. She wasn't shy, so she went to as many family functions as she could in the early days without knowing a soul. She was around way back when there was no cell phone or internet. Back when you never knew when your husband was going to call you. And odds are when he did, it was 2 a.m. with bad connection, and all yelling at the top of your lungs in your apartment with paper-thin walls. She was around when the way you found out there was a helicopter crash in your deployed husband's unit was when you got home from working the night shift and see it on the front page of the newspaper at your apartment doorstep. She learned how to live life without her extended family nearby. Her children barely knew their cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents. She learned how to move an entire household all by herself. She was able to help other military families cope with living in Iceland by showing them the adventures rather than dwelling in the hardships. As years went by, she became the brave face at the pre-deployment day, reassuring the young wives that yes, indeed, they could do it alone, and when it was over, they'd come out a better version of themselves. She learned not to buy glass Christmas ornaments and to never paint an accent wall on base housing red, not to make plans in advance, not to hide her mad money in the sock drawer, and how to say goodbye without letting her kids know that she was just as scared as they were, knowing that it could be for the last time. These things made my mom resilient, appreciative, and compassionate. Her experiences have helped many other unsure military families find their own. She was very much looked up to in our military community, and she was the living example for me to follow. My mom worked in direct patient care in a hospital for 26 years. She worked a whole lot of shift work, nights, weekends, and holidays. She was a critical care nurse for more than 20 years. I remember her studying and going on to meetings to keep her skills up so she could give the best possible care to her patients. I remember sometimes she would come home at night, starving and her legs hurting so bad from a day so busy that she didn't get to eat or take a break. I remember sometimes she would call her units on her days off to check on her really sick patients. I remember sometimes for months on end my mom doing this by herself while raising 2 little girls. And I know it was really hard, but she made it seem so easy, and she was always so strong and such a good attitude. Even though nursing was a challenge, it had many rewards, and she often reminded me of them. She said they made her feel fulfilled. She felt good that knowing how to help the doctors keep her really sick patients alive in the ICU. She felt good knowing that the doctors trusted her to take care of their patients. She liked going in on her days off, taking the blood pressure of seniors at the monthly luncheons and teaching them about their medications and other ways to deal with their conditions. She absolutely loved taking her therapy dog and visit the old folks' home. They loved petting and talking about the dogs they used to own. She even loved the occasional knock on the door by the neighbors showing up with their kids, with cuts here or pains there, looking for advice in what they should do. Many looked up to her, and I watched it all. I was so proud of her, and the work she did has inspired me. My mom's proudest accomplishment was being a mom. She says God knew what he was doing when he gave her 2 little girls. She always said it was really hard being left behind by my dad when he went away, but once her 2 little girls came, she changed her mind. She felt like she was the lucky one. All the benefits of a married life, with the added advantage of lots of single parenting time to make her mark on us. Another thing she said was that it was always like waking up on Christmas morning. She woke up every day excited to be with my sister and I, to have fun and be happy. She was always in good humor. If she was ever mad at us, we would have never known. She would bust out laughing before finishing any type of reprimanding, and then we'd all laugh. She was never too busy for us. We always felt like we were the first on her list. She always was the first to say, let's go watch a Disney movie, or let's go to the pool, or let's go to the playground, or let's go get some French fries. If there wasn't a CCD teacher for our grade, she'd volunteer. If we needed a ride to the movies, she'd do it. When there was a stray kitten in the neighborhood, everyone knew whose mom who would say, bring it on over. She'd let us stay up late all night to wait for my dad's unit to get back from overseas, miss a day of school, even if we weren't sick, or drive us all the way to New Jersey by herself to see the Jonas Brothers. She believed us when no one else would, and that's what really mattered. She fed our minds with factoids and the meanings of goodwill, and she fed our bodies with the best food that she could think of. She trusted us to make good decisions, but stealthily found a way to change our minds even if we didn't know. One time she found me in a not so good position after eating a whole box of chocolate turtles. I never did it again, but it was not because she told me not to do it. To this day, none of us can look at turtles with a straight face. Her philosophy was to not make a big deal out of everything, and eventually things would work out. If she forbid us from eating chocolate, then all we would want to do is eat chocolate. If she enjoyed nice long walks by herself, and so would we. When she was able to do more wall balls than anyone else in CrossFit class, we all wanted to know what the heck a wall ball was. My mom says my sister and I were here because we were really wanted. She says that it was very special because of sacrifices we made so her and my father could be the people they wanted to be. You just can't beat that for inspiration, or can you? My mom was 8 months pregnant when she graduated with her 2nd nursing degree. It took her 3 years to complete while working full-time. My mom played college softball, and she started at second base. And now at 55, 18 months after diagnosis, she has beat breast cancer and became a survivor. She says that she's truly only felt sick one day out of all the chemo, radiation, and surgery. She says there just wasn't time to waste on feeling down. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be the same person if it weren't for my mom. She jokingly tells people that she has molded me into becoming a nurse. But in all seriousness, she just wants me to be the person that I want to be and wake up happy every morning. It took me a while, but I figured out that I'm kind of addicted to the rush of lights and sirens. I took an EMT class, and now I'm hooked. At my age, my mom had already been an RN for over a year, was married to a Marine and the Marine Corps, and was dreaming about kids that she would someday have. She got me beat by a long shot. I owe my mom a lot for all the time and caring she's put into raising me and my sister. She has shown me the way to be a positive, giving, and someone others can lean on. So if my family put bumper stickers on our cars, and you got behind one of us at a red light, you would probably see something like this. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Therapy dog on board, or support EMS. Run with scissors. Thank you.